Hello, dear friends. Picture this, that quiet morning moment, the sun just peeking through your window, and the rich, comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling your kitchen. It's a ritual many of us cherish, a small joy that starts the day right. But what if I told you that lurking within that simple, unassuming coffee filter, there might be something a little unsettling? You might have heard whispers, perhaps seen a headline online, or a friend might have mentioned it. The idea that coffee filters could contain harmful chemicals, even carcinogens. It's the kind of news that can make your heart skip a beat, especially when it concerns something as beloved and routine as our daily coffee. These warnings often pop up from various sources. Sometimes it's a new study that gets highlighted, other times an expert might voice a concern, or a particular incident might trigger a wave of worry. And in our hyper-connected world, such information can spread like wildfire, quickly leading to widespread discussion and, understandably, a good deal of anxiety. So today, I want us to calmly look into this together. Let's try to understand what's really going on. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 10. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. First, let's pull back the curtain on these coffee filters. What are they actually made of? Most paper coffee filters are made from virgin paper pulp, which comes from wood. The process involves turning wood chips into pulp, then pressing and drying it into paper. Now, where in this process could those unwanted chemicals sneak in? One area of concern has been the bleaching process. Paper is naturally brownish, and to get that clean white look, it's often bleached. Another area involves additives that might be used to improve the filter's performance, like making sure it doesn't tear when wet. Let's talk a bit more about one of these additives, wet strength agents. What exactly are wet strength agents? Well, their name gives a pretty good clue. They are chemicals added to paper products to help them maintain their strength when they get wet. Think about it. A coffee filter needs to hold hot water and coffee grounds without falling apart. That's where these agents come in. The concern arises because some of the chemicals used to create these wet strength agents, or the byproducts from their manufacturing, have, in some studies, been linked to health issues when exposure is high. One specific chemical often mentioned is epichlorohydrin, which can be a component in some wet-strength resins. In its raw, industrial form, and in large quantities, it's not something you'd want to be around. The big question then is, do these agents or parts of them actually leach out of the filter and into your morning cup of coffee? And if so, in what amounts? Beyond wet strength agents, other substances have sometimes been mentioned in relation to paper filters. For example, chlorine bleaching, especially older methods, could potentially create trace amounts of compounds called dioxins, which are known carcinogens. This is why you often see filters marketed as TCF, totally chlorine-free, or ECF, elemental chlorine-free, indicating different, generally safer, bleaching processes. Fluorescent whitening agents are another category. These are chemicals that can make paper appear brighter, whiter. While the direct link to cancer from these in coffee filters is less clear and often debated, some people prefer to avoid them as a precaution. So we've talked about what could be in there. Now for the crucial part. What does the science say about the actual risk? Are we really sipping on a chemical cocktail every morning? Researchers have indeed studied this. They've brewed coffee using various types of filters and then analyzed the coffee for traces of these chemicals. The good news generally is that if any of these substances do leach into the coffee, the amounts are typically incredibly small, often measured in parts per billion or even parts per trillion. To put that into perspective, 1 part per billion is like 1 drop of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. These are trace levels, and our bodies are generally equipped to handle minute amounts of many different substances. Now, let's think about real-world risk. We are exposed to trace amounts of potentially harmful substances from many sources every single day, from the air we breathe to the food we eat. The question is always about the dose. The old saying, "The dose makes the poison," is very relevant. Here, when scientists and health authorities assess risk, they look at these leaching levels, how much coffee people typically drink, and compare it to known safe exposure limits. For most people enjoying a few cups of coffee a day using standard paper filters, the additional risk from chemicals leached from the filter is generally considered to be very, very low. Many experts believe it's not a significant health concern compared to other lifestyle factors. However, knowing all this, it's completely natural to want to minimize any potential exposure, no matter how small. And thankfully, there are simple steps we can take. So what can we, as coffee lovers, do to feel even more confident about our daily brew? First, when you're buying coffee filters, you have choices. Look for filters that are unbleached. These are usually light brown in color and haven't undergone the chemical bleaching process. You can also look for filters labeled TCF, totally chlorine-free, or PCF, processed chlorine-free. These use oxygen-based bleaching methods or are made from recycled paper that wasn't re-bleached with chlorine. Choosing filters from reputable brands that are transparent about their manufacturing processes can also offer some peace of mind. Next, let's talk about how you brew your coffee. A simple but effective tip is to rinse your paper filter with hot water before you add the coffee grounds. Just place the filter in your brewer, pour some hot water through it, and then discard that water. This little step can help wash away any loose paper fibers, dust, or surface residues. It can also help remove any slight papery taste some people notice. Controlling your water temperature is also good practice, not just for taste, but also because extremely high temperatures could theoretically increase the leaching of any substances. Though for coffee, we typically use water just off the boil, which is standard. And what if you'd rather sidestep paper filters altogether? Well, there are plenty of excellent alternatives. Metal filters, often made of stainless steel, are a popular choice. They are reusable, durable, and allow more of the coffee oils to pass through, which can result in a fuller-bodied cup. You can find them for pour-over drippers and some automatic coffee makers. French presses are another wonderful option that doesn't use any paper filter. The coffee grounds steep directly in hot water, and then a mesh plunger separates the grounds from the liquid. AeroPress devices can also be used with reusable metal filters instead of paper ones. Even old-fashioned percolators or mocha pots brew coffee without the need for disposable paper filters. Each of these methods offers a slightly different coffee experience, so you might even discover a new favorite way to brew. So, let's circle back to our main question. Coffee filters and potential concerns. Should we be worried sick? Can we still enjoy our beloved coffee? I believe the answer is a resounding yes. We can still enjoy our coffee, and do so with peace of mind. While it's true that trace amounts of certain chemicals could be present in some coffee filters, the scientific consensus suggests that the levels leached into coffee under normal brewing conditions are extremely low and unlikely to pose a significant health risk for most people. It's about being informed, not alarmed. Understanding the nuances helps us make sensible choices rather than reacting out of fear. By choosing unbleached or chlorine-free filters, rinsing your filter before use, or exploring alternative brewing methods, you can further minimize any potential exposure and enhance your coffee enjoyment. Coffee is more than just a beverage for many of us. It's a comforting ritual, a moment of pause, a source of pleasure, and it should remain that way. Don't let unfounded fears steal that joy. The truth, as it often is more complex than a scary headline, but also, in this case, quite reassuring. So, go ahead, dear friends. Brew that cup, savor that wonderful aroma, and enjoy your coffee moment, knowing you're making informed choices for your well-being. Thank you for listening.